So Mark, okay.
Hi.
Oh,
I'm here.
okay, good. Let me do this.
Sorry, too loud?
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. How you doing, man?
Okay. I'm doing good.
I'm not used to seeing you actually live in this show.
Yeah, I was thinking like, can I do a bit where I pretend this still isn't live? And that's not too hard, so I'm just here. That was easier.
So Mark, where are you located right now?
I'm in Florida.
You're in Florida, and people know you from basically from your DJ gig. But what do you do in Wing?
I work on, I guess, most things other than the console. They don't need me there. They're doing an excellent job. So I pick up what I can, like in the compiler side. I think people will see me focusing on the VS Code extension, but I definitely all over the place.
Great, awesome. And what do we have for us for today? I mean, the external JS topic. What's that?
Yeah. So just to like set it all up before I like share anything or demo. Um, the Wing being kind of like an early, very early language means that we'll have limitations, and limitations will get smaller and smaller over time. But in the meantime, and I mean also even in the future, you're going to want to call out into existing ecosystems to enhance what functionality you have. Um, a lot of languages have this. This isn't. We're not really, and even when they reach maturity, they still have it because there's so much work that's already been done outside of this language that we want to still make use of. So a big thing is JavaScript. We already are partially doing that with our compatibility with JSI libraries. Right. So hey, why not jump to the next level and say, how can we interact with just plain old JavaScript? So the idea here is, okay, how do we do that? But we do it safely. We don't want to just have you running arbitrary JavaScript just wherever in your wing. We want to kind of make sure you stay safe with when you give people tools. You don't want them to immediately trip over it. Like it should make sense in Wing.
So you're saying it like that was the initial decision, but in the beginning of when we started talking about the bring JavaScript, it was bring unsafe or untyped JavaScript. And I remember the discussion when you were saying, listen guys, I'm gonna write untyped language. I mean, I'm used to TypeScript. Why you're giving me this DX, and a lot of what we're doing is about the developer experience, and it's much worse than what I have right now. But the actual result is that we've taken kind of the type safety into Wing and basically kind of created kind of a DMZ zone with the helper files where nothing is really safe there. It's plain old JavaScript. Awesome. And so and you're the guy who went and implemented this feature, right?
Yeah, Allow wrote the spec update to fill this out in there, and then I implemented it.
Awesome. So basically, kind of recap on what you said, extern JS is the ability for Wing to interact with JavaScript, very similar to how Java interacts with C with JNI, and that's what you're going to show us right now. You want to share your screen right now, or any kind of more setup?
I don't. I think it would be at that point or at this point easier to just see. So
okay. So I'm looking at your screen.
Okay. Live sharing.
5, 4, 3.
Here we go.
2, 1. My God, exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let me know. Are we all good?
It's all good. I'm seeing your live.w file, bring cloud, resource fun.
Okay, we're all set. So there's a little bit of ceremony in here. I'm skipping over. I want to point out there's some limitations currently to how this is implemented. Some of them intentional, some of them not, some of them gaps. but I'll just mention them as we're going along. So just to show what we're unlocking here, I just want to do some stuff. I just want to do just whatever wacky stuff I can think of that Wing doesn't let me do right now. That maybe I need to reach over for some JavaScript. So for the first option, let's say I want to make an HTTP request.
Okay.
That's some people do that, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
Some people actually go to the internet to get stuff. It's nuts. It's really insane. You shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I don't know what you're going to find there on the internet. I kind of feel it's obsolete.
There's really nothing that useful there. But in case there is, we'll go check it out.
Okay.
So the first thing we'll show is I wrote up a JavaScript file that is able to pulls in Axios. I could have used fetch. Decided not to, just to also show you that we can also load node modules as well. In this functionality. So here we pull in Axios, and I expose a function or export a function from this file that takes in the URL, which is, I mean, it's not typed, but let's assume it's a string.
Okay.
And it's able to make a GET request through Axios and return the data.
Great.
When you look at
yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. When you look at this, there is a contract here. Like, we don't have types right now. Right. This only works with JavaScript, but there is a clear contract. It takes in string and it returns, technically this is typed as any, but we know from how this works that this will be a JSON object.
Right.
So how convenient would it be to load this up and have it typed as those things? So we can add this. I copied and pasted for our convenience.
So what do we have on screen? We have extern, and then the extern keyword, and then the fetch.js. That's the file that's what's in your same folder.
Yeah, and actually I just added this feature right now, which you can hover over and click on it and go to the file.
Nice. This is 061, right? 0.6.1.
Yes. Probably. Yeah. I did not check, but yes, it just came out.
Yeah, I did.
I did. You checked.
Yeah,
okay, good. So yeah, this is saying what the syntax is telling you is that, hey, I have here's my function definition, but instead of providing an implementation for this function as I normally would, I'm saying, hey, this is implemented outside of this, and in fact, it's actually implemented right here in this file.
Yeah.
But we still have the full power of the type system of Wing to say this takes in a URL, which is a string, and it returns a JSON object, which I think you guys we've demoed before. This new thing.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about this today. But so basically, kind of when I send a string, a Wing str, it will be kind of in JavaScript. It's going to be the string, and if we're going to send a Wing JSON, it's going to be kind of a JSON in JavaScript. Kind of very simple, right? There's no,
yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. And I went ahead and thought, okay, what can I demo here? Let's say I want to get a pull request. You'll notice that this is static. That's a current limitation, that these extern functions must be static. That's not a forever limitation, but currently we're saying, hey, okay, in this resource fun, call get JSON, and we can provide it a string. I'm going to go get the API request or hit the GitHub API to get a pull request. And then let's say I want to print it out.
Okay, nice.
Now and just to explain the other stuff here, I'm making a little test function so that I can run Wing tests, and you'll see that it got my PR data.
Okay, so what we're seeing here, first of all, I mean, you're running Wing test, your file. Wing test kind of goes through the cloud function that has the name test, and this is test fun. In pre-flight, you instantiate the resource, the fun resource, and then you call the fun function in flight, because the cloud function is an in-flight function, and then it goes outside of Wing when the fun.getJSON go outside of the Wing realm into JavaScript realm and returns a JSON, right? I mean, this is a JSON. I mean, great. I see.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It returns a JSON, which I mean, to be clear, like there's no actual type checking between the JavaScript and the Wing side.
Right.
It is up to you to make sure that stays established. But this is true of other external functionalities. Like there's going to be a little bit of a dynamic unsoundness here, especially talking to JavaScript. Anything can really happen. But we'll trust you to return the right thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to like, I mean, right now, this is so returning a JSON, but I mean, we can return any like normal types. We can run any sort of thing. I made one. I don't know how many more demos we want to do here, but I made one to even invoke our shell.
Okay, I want to.
So hey, you want to, let's say instead of printing this, we want to print an actual shell command.
Okay.
So I figured it's just like one of those CLI commands that makes a nice bubble letter. Boom! Now I got that running.
Nice.
You can run anything. I could delete all my files, like whatever. You have full power.
Can you try that? Deleting all your files? Is that an option?
Let's see.
I
could delete.
No, don't delete your file, man. Don't.
I'm gonna delete the package lock here. I'll do or just package lock.json. That should work, right? Pretty sure.
Can you show me? Can you show me the shell?
Yeah, it's gone now.
Nice. Can you show me the shell.js for a second?
Yeah, sure. So this one's another simple one. Great. This one's using a node built-in.
Nice.
So to run that, I don't know if I even will bother with another example, but another node built-in process.env.
Oh, nice.
If you want to get environment variables, same sort of thing. These are some things that I expect Wing to eventually have some sort of proper interface for.
Right.
But until then, it's nice to have something. It's nice to have a trapdoor or escape hatch rather to run all this.
Right. And it's going to take time, and I'm assuming people will use this to create stuff that will eventually go inside kind of our standard library eventually. The network part is a classic thing.
Yeah, although I should say it's not really only limited to that. I mean, it's like even in our own compiler, we use Rust, and we also use extern to run C code.
Right.
And that's not a weird thing. That's it's a super normal thing to have this interop. And I expect Wing programs to have something like this forever, even when we implement most of the more useful stuff.
Right. I think the Node ecosystem really kind of started with a lot of C stuff, and then it's kind of eventually it used to be that you would npm install it to use to compile things on your computer. Yeah, hardly you can see this. So first of all, this is exciting. I remember seeing this for the first time, and for me, it's because I'm writing a lot of Wing code. This kind of gives me the options to start really creating real stuff. I mean, till now, everything I need, what's not available in the language in the standard library was locked for me. So this is great, man. This is awesome. Was it hard to implement?
Only node module resolution was hard.
What one?
Making sure, so like when you load a JavaScript file,
okay,
and let's say when you require Axios, where is it requiring it from?
Wow.
Because we actually, there's a compilation process happening, and this file is not running the same context you think it's running in. So we have to make sure that things work as you expect them to. I didn't show it, but I did pre-install, so I have a package JSON where I installed Axios, but it's resolving from the directory that you probably expect it to work in. Same as like the bring JSI, it's resolving from the same place.
From the node models directory, because we're still using npm install for those things, right?
Correct, yeah.
Awesome. Wow, this is, I knew when I asked you to, I knew I'm going to see some interesting stuff here. I should have guessed that I'm going to see a shell script. I should have guessed. You were pushing a shell script options for Wing from day one, and I should have guessed that. Anything else on this? On this? Anything else that you want to talk? You want to share?
No, I will say that probably the first thing that you should not do with this is run shell scripts. So maybe this was a bad example, but I know that if many of you are like me, that was the first thing you saw. What can I?
Yeah.
What silly things can I do?
Yeah.
So hopefully, I know that you have an example using the native regex that's in Node, much more useful example, or loading like UUIDs. These are all much more useful. I decided to be less useful today.
No, I love how not useful you are, and I think I always kind of as the guy in charge of product, I always kind of one of the characters that this project is. I mean, it's people that are really psyched about technology and really like to test the limits on technology. And I kind of look at you and I say, well, what will Mark gonna like? And I think that's a great example. And it really sparks the imagination of what you can do with it. And I love this example. Great. Anything else about extern before you have to take off the Mark the developer hat and put the Mark the DJ hat and share the next song with us?
No, I will say it also works with pre-flight. I only showed in-flights,
okay,
but it works the same pre-flight as well. That's it. I'm done.
It's also interesting that you can only put the extern inside the resource, right? You can't put it kind of floating outside and have a floating function, right?
Yeah. So currently, if you're reading this, like in the spec, it specifically says classes and resources. I would also consider this a temporary, although probably much more long-standing limitation. Like the static might go away, but I think we might keep it limited to resources for a while. But you can get really far with that, I think.
Right. And once we have interfaces that we can declare interfaces in the language, you can actually kind of declare my own regex and return the regex, and then you can call kind of object-oriented style on the return, right? I mean, again, type.
Yeah, I think there's a. If you look in the spec, there's actually there's a layout of what types, like how the types map here.
Okay.
And ideally, every type should be available in some way. Like Wings type system is less complicated than TypeScript's type system. So and JavaScript. So I mean, like it's kind of a subset. So there should be a way to somehow map everything that you can define here the other way.
Yeah. Kind of feel like everything is less complicated in the TypeScript type system. I'm trying to figure this out. I keep seeing kind of every time. I mean, I'm surprised by the things that is possible though, and it's also so extremely cool. Great.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, let's put on the Mark the DJ hat. And what do you have for us today, man? What's
oh gosh, what do I have for you today? I gave you. This is the first time I think this is the first time I gave you two options.
Right.
For things to play, because I was more focused on trying to make sure everything was working for the demo. Because I didn't have the benefit of pre-recording this time.
Right.
Except this all was the pre-recording. I fooled you.
Right.
So what? Oh,
you don't remember?
I know. Okay, I had to look. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I cheated. So I really love Spotify recommendations. I think I've heard hit or miss for some people, but I pretty much most of my music taste over the last few years has been molded by whatever algorithm Spotify has, and I always love when it gives me just like just random, really small or smallish artists to listen to, and this was one of them that I really liked. This is The Move by Lucy Camp.
Right. So let's listen to The Move by Lucy Camp for about 30 seconds. I want to thank you, Mark, for having this conversation and bringing us this amazing feature. And in the next after this song, we're going to have a lad. So thank you, Mark. This was awesome, and let's see.